Hey, Melissa, how you doing? This is fantastic. Really came quite a long way since last week, so great job. Um, as we go through it's definitely in presentation format, but I think there's a couple of things that I think could be really described a little bit further, especially right here. So you go into this booth, and then you just go right into the 11 sustainable questions. But we know that because we know what the 11 sustainable questions are. But to the standard viewer looking at your presentation here, they may not. So that would need to be described. Okay, the following are 11 sustainable questions. And if you use those 11 sustainable questions anywhere else in your presentation, which indeed you do, be sure to describe that this is the collateral portion addressing these 11 sustainable questions. Okay, that's a really good way to use your research in your final presentation. I think it's great. But be sure that everything is self-explanatory. Okay, I think it's really good that you've designed the page and that you've gone with this design. But I think that it's a little bit difficult to read. And I think that the reason is because you've got a really long line length here, typographically. And the pages are probably 8.5 by 11, which is not, as we know, not the most interesting page size. I mean, even if you were to 11 by 8.5, so that you could maybe use spreads, or even, try to refine your typography a little bit so it's a little bit more inviting instead of these really long lines with these huge type blocks. Okay, I'm going to show you an example. It's from a classmate, and it's public forum information that was in this week's discussion board. So I'm not showing anything that is not in public forum. So this is your classmate's work, and starts with the creative brief. And note the page orientation. See how this is so much easier to read, these little bits of information, than these really long chunks of type. And then the pages are 2 columns, so it's really inviting. Each page is designed in accordance with the last. They're all the same page. Each page has a description and the examples, descriptions, examples. And notice also that each page basically uses roughly the exact same area on each page. So there's some real nice regularity here. And I'd like you to think about moving in that type of a presentational direction. Other than that, I mean, I think that it's really, really good work. The one thing I think I would do is let's get explain your sustainable questions. Describe what you're doing in the presentation. Okay, describe exactly what each section is and what you're trying to do in that section. Okay. Instead of just saying thumbnails and digital, well, no, that's good. That's good. Instead of just saying booth, say booth and then subtitle or subhead 11 sustainable design questions regarding the booth. Then over here you could go into the story behind the booth or whatever, and then booth materials, so that they're all titled and subtitled and given some sort of a presence of hierarchy. Okay, this is great right here. I love this. Wait, can you increase the size of these, or maybe even extract each sketch out of that set of sketches and show them in maybe some sort of a grid on the page? I think these warrant a much larger look. Okay, that's good. This is great. Also here, I think it would be a really good place right here for the presentation to describe, what is your thoughts behind the collateral? I'm sorry, not the design. Okay. And then just as importantly, there's a big question mark in the presentation because we go from this to this. So what happened? Describe it. I have a feeling it's not going to work because it was too hard to cut out, and it would just have really a lot of time involved. And that's where I thought from the start. But so to change at the last second here, so to speak, I think it would warrant a description as to why. Maybe production problems, maybe you thought that this was a better layout. Maybe you thought it was a better use of paper, which it is. Okay, so describe the reasoning behind that change. Don't change your page sizes in the middle of a presentation. Always use the same size page. Just use part of the page for each, the same part of the page for each different page. Okay. And generally, I think it's fantastic. Again, see if let's get one page dedicated to the thumbnail since they're so important. Then we can show the collateral. I think it's that important. Your thumbnails are probably one of the stronger parts of it. It shows intent, and that's probably one of the stronger parts of your presentation. My only issue really is the presentation itself is kind of bland. I think you could probably make it a lot easier to read and a lot more welcoming, thinking about some alternative type layout ideas. Okay? Any questions at all, please feel free to let me know. Okay? Thanks. Good job.